Peace and blessings, all praises to the true and living. Guide my tongue, my thoughts, my words, and my actions to be in alignment with your will, that you be visible, for you are invincible, that me be invisible. We're going to look a little bit at what is a minstrel. What is it really about when actors and actresses receive that status, that clout, or that award? And you know, folks are encouraged to look at that as an achievement, and even as an achievement to the community. You know, we support black actors and black films, and I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm taking another look at a couple of things, and I want you to look at it with me. It was sparked by seeing a film called Minstrel Man. Now, despite some of the things you may see on the outside, it's very deep. And like a lot of things, there's exoteric and esoteric things to glean from this, and it all connects to mind control. It also connects to the race war programming and to the black and white chessboard dynamic, the game that we talk about so much, the Hegelian dialectic that they run on both sides of the chessboard, on both brotherhoods. So check it out.
They were black men, the slaves, trying to ease the hardships of their lives with the songs that they wrote and the stories that they made up. The curious thing was, white folks begun to put woolly hair on their heads and black makeup on their faces, pretending that they was darkies down on the plantation. Minstrel shows, they were called. They set a semicircle of chairs on stage, and the man in the middle was called Mr. Interlocutor. But the jokes were handled by the end men, Mr. Bones and Mr. Tambo. They danced and they sang coon songs and told funny stories that showed the black man better off and happier in slavery. After the Civil War, black men like my papa wanted to get into the entertainment business. The only place open to them was the minstrel stage. So, they sold themselves as the genuine article. And they put burnt cork on their black faces. And they imitated the white men who was imitating them. Seems like as soon as I could carry a tambourine, me and my brother Rennie was strutting out front of the minstrel parade with our papa right behind. I was about 14 years old and mighty proud to be a part of the singing, dancing Brown family. Of the Carmichael's Minstrels.
4 seasons?
If you can.
The 4 seasons, let me see. The 4 seasons is pepper, salt, vinegar, and mustard.
Mr. Tambo, I wonder if I can prevail upon you to favor us with a vocal rendition.
Well, I don't know about that, Mr. Interlocutor, but I'd be mighty pleased to sing a song for y'all. Although it ain't my color, I was feeling mighty blue. I've got lots of trouble, I tell it all to you. I suddenly disgusted with life, and that's a fact. Because my hair is woolly and because my color is black, I had my face enameled, I truly was a sight. Just as I was a-thinking, I had things fixed up right. My gal came down to see me, I gave her such a fright. And that's why I must sing to you this mournful tune tonight. I wish my color would fade. I'd like a different shade. Morning, night, and noon. I'd rather be the man in the moon than a coon.
by that spring, or the next, or even the next. We were always just a little broker and a little hungrier. Even the minstrels weren't all that interested in a pair of ragtag boys.
I just happen to be a minstrel man myself passing through this here town. I'll be moving on to something more suited to my talents just as soon as I finish putting my new act together.
New act?
Yes, sir. Been figuring on maybe fleshing up the routine a little bit with some young, talented person that needs a break.
You mean us?
Don't know that I need a harmonica player just now.
This is my brother Rennie, Mr. Bates. We go together.
Sorry, Harry. Means an extra mouth to feed, extra bunk on the train.
Rennie ain't no harmonica player. He plays the piano, and he composes, too. He's real good, Mr. Bates, and he'll earn his keep honest.
I'm sure that your brother is another Chopin of bone. But for now, you think maybe there's some place we could send him tonight? Home.
You
Want to dance, don't you, boy?
Yes, sir. On anything.
Let's look at you. Dirty. Steal to eat. Got about as much prospects as a three-legged dog. Some greatest thing happened to you since mother's milk, boy.
All right, next. I don't want to put none of that stuff on.
Well, you have to.
Why?
Because we've always done it, that's why.
Oh, you mean the folks out there can't tell a nigga without it?
Oh, hush up, Rennie. Come on, put it on.
For God's sake, Harry. You insisted he come along like you did with this kid.
Rennie, damn. You think I enjoy putting this stuff on my face, huh? Well, hell, where else can us colored folks perform, huh?
Question we both ask all the time: are we making progress? Is it getting better?
I think we are making progress, but it's not progress across the board. I want to hopefully one day soon, while we're still young, to get in one of those gatekeep positions so we can be one of those people that has green light power, that has a studio job. Some of these studios don't even have any black executives at all. You know, we go to the studios, man. The only black people we see is the guy at the gate.
Really?
Let you in.
And he won't let you in.
You know, at the same time, yourself, Sam, Don Cheadle, Will, Eddie.
Why do you think there aren't the roles for black women? Are we not writing them? Is that on
I
us?
think we have to write them.
Yeah.
You know, and you got to give Miss Winfrey credit because you know
Right,
she uses
right.
all her clout. She
Right.
just did Zora Neale Hurston's classic Eyes Watching Gawahali.
Right.
Now she's getting ready to do Paradise again. She definitely can get stuff made. Hopefully, you know, should put us on the show too. When the movie comes out.
Not that we're asking for that.
I know,
You're not asking to be on the show.
You want to go back to the streets?
I made up my mind, Harry. I'm going back home.
You're up, Mr. Bates.
Reddy, you can't leave now. I mean, look, this one's getting good. This is what we stayed for.
I can't do this kind of work anymore, Harry. I thought I could, but I can't.
Boy's right, Harry.
Goons in town, goons in town, goons who came the other day. Hey, hey, we're two new goons in town that nobody can down. They're the champions, so they say.
The term coon comes from raccoons, like niggas, apes, animals, coons, and possums, a way to diminish the black man and call him an animal. And shine came from the way that it was said that your eyes would shine and your teeth would shine when you smiled. That's where the white paint around the eyes and the mouth came from.
And I'm weeping all the day, far away from my old Kentucky.
What are you gonna do now, Harry?
You folks can wait around here for the Lord or some pale-faced manager to live here if you want to, but not me.
Suppose you're running that Charlie Bates again?
If I do, he'll be the one that needs the Lord's deliverance.
You don't get my meaning, son. This ain't no nigger truth.
Once I get the caulk on and the makeup, nobody be able to tell me from the rest of the company. Look, if the colored materials you was looking for, why, the genuine article.
Boy, white men been doing coon shows longer than niggers by 20 years. We're experts at it. So why should I hire a black man to do a job a white man can do? Answer me that.
Say, fella, you looking for a job?
Yes, sir.
Say you've been in show business.
Yes.
Well, maybe I could use you. Just 10 cents, ladies and gentlemen, one thin dime to gaze upon this genuine Zulu warrior, captured in the heart of darkest Africa, brought to you at enormous expense by the management. Crushed for 3 years, he's just been captured. Himself a live chicken every morning.
Hey, Brown.
Only one thin dime.
You overacting tonight, ain't you?
Get back in your cage or you fired. Sorry, folks. Keeper must have left the cage unlocked. Everything's gonna be fine.
Well, I don't know how my mom would feel about me going off with a minstrel show, Mr. Jones. But, maybe when I tell her how you a big famous minstrel star and all, but she...
Let's be going, Harry.
Mr. Brown's been telling me how y'all heading north to Chicago. And I ain't never seen nothing north of this very town.
Oh, sugar. Now, don't you agree, Mr. Bates, that it'd be a crime and a sin against the Lord to leave a magnificent voice like Jessamyn's undiscovered?
Oh, Mr. Brown.
Yes, sir. You don't come with me now, Mr. Brown. I'm gonna have to scuff your dancing slippers.
In case you are interested, Miss Tucker, the company cars will be leaving from the rail yard at 4 o'clock this afternoon.
At 4.
Good day, ma'am.
Good day.
Stay on and look for a white man.
and you could join up with the Brown Mix. Johnny Bates? I wonder, could I see you and Mr. Brown for a moment? Damn clever, I must say, using that New Orleans whorehouse music for a minstrel band. How you do that?
Well, it's double time syncopated 4/4 over 2/4 mostly, with the melody running ahead or behind. Ragtime is what it is.
Interesting. Most interesting. So to get right to the point here, I'll buy you boys out for, say, $3,000 cash.
Well, don't think so, Mr. Finch, but thanks anyway.
Now, you know what happens to black-owned companies. They either get squeezed out or starved out.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
Where's the makeup, Mr. Brown? Where's the funny-looking costumes?
Now, we're doing a little different kind of show tonight, a little more high tone. You'll like it.
Times are bad, Mr. Brown. Lots of those folks out there barely have the price of admission. And they don't want to come in here and see a lot of niggers being better and smarter than they are.
But don't you worry. I'm going to make them happy.
You better.
Mr. Bones, it seems to me that you've not been looking so well lately.
No, sir. I've been mightily poorly.
Well, what seems to be the trouble, sir?
Well, sir, I was nursing my old sick horse. And the next thing I knew, I was suffering from a breakdown.
Gentlemen, is that not touching devotion? Mr. Bones here attending his sick horse so faithfully that his own health broke down.
Afternoon, neighbor. Afternoon to you. Howdy, friend. Well, you boys gonna just stand there gawking? Or you gonna move aside for a white man? Why, yes, sir. Step right on past, sir.
Say, Bones, ain't that Mr. Bill from up on the hill?
Yeah, now, Mr. Interlocker, I can't be sure. You know most all white people looks alike to me. Even your wife, Mr. Bones.
Perhaps it's time for a song. I wonder, would you favor us, Mr. Bones?
I'll be honest. I have a riddle for you, Mr. Interlocutor.
What is your riddle, Mr. Bill?
Do you know why there are no white folks in the audience?
Well, no,
Because they all have red necks. Hell are you trying to kill? Don't kill. How long are you gonna take it, Harry? How long are you gonna go through this humiliation and abuse? When are you gonna stop fighting back?
My last question: the tattoo on your chin, what does that signify?
Oh, it's an owl. It just means wisdom and knowledge and learning things.
Jordash? Sassoon? What we? Hey. Buckwheat cheese. Okay.
It has to do with their perception of vision, of what is clarity, and of Aries, Horus, ruling the brain and the eyes. Their belief that they can see things that others cannot because of their esoteric and exoteric information, their occult allegiances, and of course, their communing with spirits that some believe are their ancestors and others know full well are deceiving demonic beings. And the owl is symbolic of those who have this knowledge of the fallen. The fallen manipulated not only mankind's beliefs and philosophies, but mankind's genetics, the genetics of plants, and the genetics of animals. And it is my contention that the owl is one such animal, and this is why it is revered, and so unlike the other fowl species in a plethora of ways. But I had to really look at the different reasons why they revere the owl, or why they will say they revere the owl, and why they don't say. One is its nighttime capabilities. It's a nocturnal fowl, and its ability to see at night is only rivaled by its ability to see almost behind its back, its ability to turn its head. It was also the accompaniment of Lilith and Minerva and Athena. It is symbolic of mother goddess worship, and when you see the owl and the other symbols associated with the eyes and the vision of the elite, the Illuminati, they are bragging that they are able to see things and understand things that you cannot, and you only understand and see from a lower level.
Had a hit in 1972 on Love Unlimited, which was my first gold record and their first one. Before then, there were 11 and a half years of starvation and struggle that Barry White went through. Story that Barry White could tell you about what he was before it happened would make your hair curl, sweetheart. I had a lot of brushes with the law. I was a very, very proud gangbanger, is what we call them in America. I was very loyal, very consistent. I was a dedicated member to my gang. And I did everything that teenagers do who are in that environment. And at that age, I went to jail, I burglarized, I stole cars, I fought, I was in gang fights. All of the things that it takes to either make you or break you. I'm only a product of my environment.
I don't know where my baby is, but I'll find him somewhere, somehow. And you know, Barry, I'll never give up looking for my baby.
Don't
I've been around the world and I
about my baby. I don't know when, I don't know why he's gone away, and I don't know where she can be. My baby, but I'm gonna find him
someday, some way.
Ooh, we had a quarrel, and I let myself go. I said so many things he didn't know, when I was so bad. And I don't think he's coming back. He gave the reasons he should go. He said things he hadn't said before, and he was so mad. And I don't think he's coming back.
She can be
my baby.
I know you are, baby. I know you are, baby. You've been a bad girl.
Ain't gonna help me.
You've been a bad girl, Lisa. Hi, this is Barry White. Please join me on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, May, to be an array of international stars and celebrities from all over, from the world. Oh, shit, I'm doing it again. Hi, this is Barry White. Please join me on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday, May 8th, 9th, and 10th, for the first fucking thing to a weekend in Texas on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, May 8th, 9th, and 10th in Waco, Texas. I'm cutting a fucking spot, Tony. Jesus. Hi, this is Barry White, and Paul Quinn College cordially invite you to a weekend in Texas on Saturday and Sunday. Shit. Hi, this is Barry White, and Paul Quinn College cordially invites you to a weekend in Texas on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, May 8th, 9th, and 10th. Shit. Do it over, fuck it. Hi, this is Barry White, and Paul Quinn College cordially invites you to a beautiful weekend in Waco, Texas on Friday. This asshole fucked these words up, man. I mean, he's got words that he don't even need. Hi, this is Barry White, and Paul Quinn College cordially invites you to a beautiful weekend in Waco, Texas. This gala weekend will include the welcoming celebrity reception on Friday, the Barry White concert with the Love Unlimited Orchestra, of course, and the post-concert reception on Saturday, and a championship semi-finals. Fuck this shit, man. I'm gonna cut this shit off. All right, fuck this. I'm gonna take it up to concert Love Unlimited Orchestra. That's where I'm gonna stop at. So get your tickets now. Hi, this is Barry White, and Paul Quinn College cordially invites your ass to come on down. Hi, this is Barry White, and Paul Quinn College cordially invites you to a beautiful weekend on Friday, Saturday, just a bitch. Hi, this is Barry White, and Paul Quinn College. Oh, Lord Jesus.
Gorolnik, is that you? I want to talk to you. Mr. Gorolnik, it's been 2 months, and I want my rent, or I'm going to take your apartment, Mr. Gorolnik. I want it back. I want my rent, Mr. Gorolnik. Your rent is due. I'm going to have to take steps.
Mister, would you cross me?
Out of my way, old man!
Both Cosby and Ossie, Ruby D, Maya Angelou, they're all seen as trailblazers. And we have honored them as such. And indeed, they did blaze a trail. But as I watched Minstrel Man, some new questions came to my mind concerning the acting profession and the gains that we feel as brothers and sisters that we've gotten over the years by progressing in that particular profession. what is it really about? And the more that I look back to some of our old favorites and classics, some of the films that we sort of just blindly accept as being 100, you know, I see some things that cause me to pause. For instance, the all-seeing eye on the fez of Ossie Davis. I understand that the premise behind Let's Do It Again was that Portier and Cosby were to raise money for their brotherhood. And it was written by Portier. Now, don't you think Portier was a made man, a brother? Did he not understand the meanings of those things of the all-seeing eye? Was he just under the age noir deception, or was it deeper? I don't know, yet I question. And I look at what's going on with Bill Cosby, and I compare it to different things I've heard over the years concerning black actors and the hardships that they've gone through, or that they go through trying to break into a business that's not welcoming them, not welcoming toward them, not designed for them. You know, I have mixed feelings. You know, it's part of me that always feels like, well, what do you expect? This is a devil's game. It's all about programming. You have to remember the real purpose of moving pictures was for propaganda, was for the government to disseminate information to the people the way they wanted it. It would always be accompanied with newsreels in the beginning. You know, once they got movies up and running, they figured out, I mean, they didn't figure it out. It was the intent from the beginning that, hey, we're going to package movies with our messages. And even when you see a program on TV, the real old black and white programs, they'll say, sponsored by such and such, or you know, they give thanks to their sponsors. Their sponsor, that corporation, whatever company it was, paid for that program, and sometimes they designed that program just to give people a particular message. Now, to keep that in mind, especially concerning black programming, and not be so quick to just accept it because it's got black names and actors behind it.
Billy and Clyde. Just a couple of ordinary guys doing their part for a good cause.
I'm a milkman. You're a factory worker. We don't look like nobody who come up with no $20,000.
We gonna look like we got $1 million. Uncle Slade from New York, huh?
That's right. Biggie Smalls.
You wanna see me? Yeah, I wanna see you. About what? My name is Mongo Slade. I'm from out of New York City. Me and my boys wanna make a bet. Bet you.
10 grand.
Count it.
No need. But it ain't what they do. It's how they're doing it. Warner Brothers and First Artists present Sidney Poitier and Bill Cosby in Let's Do It Again.
Let's do it again.
By day, they're two average family men enjoying a well-earned vacation with their wives in New Orleans. But by night, they're dynamite operators. Trying to make an outclassed, washed-up fighter named Bootney Farnsworth into a winner.
I am the champion. Who am I? Who?
One little personal question, Bootney. How's your love life?
How's his love life?
And while they're at it, turn 20,000 into 100 grand.
You lost, Mac. Live with it. Live with it.
Sure hope you boys don't have an accident on the way home with all that money.
There they are.
Sidney Poitier, Bill Cosby, Calvin Lockhart, John Amos, Ossie Davis, and Jimmy Walker. When you got the cash, when you got the faith, when you got the luck, there ain't nothing you can't do. Let's do it again. Now let's do it again. Sidney Poitier, Bill Cosby, Let's do it again.
Low-key, Ozzy portrayed the worshipful master. Sidney Poitier portrayed the Brotherhood wizard, complete with military background, who used hypnosis as they are taught to do to their wives, i.e. Stepford Wives and I Dream of Jeannie. Cosby and Davis both are shown with their fez for this trailer's finale, and no doubt that was a shout out to their brotherhoods to let them know what this was really all about. So the honor we give them, they end up giving to their brotherhoods, their fellow wizards.
Open your eyes. In the innermost reaches of your heart, you are a tiger. Tiger. You are capable of great feats of strength and courage. Strength and courage. You can beat any fighter in the world. You will win the championship. I will? Yes. Out of sight.
We always talk about the OK sign, but we miss its connections to sex. The hole, the black hole, the spiral. Again, we see the spiral used in hypnotism. The use of sex throughout advertising to help to hypnotize. Sex and the spiral are both used to represent a doorway. Isn't sex a doorway? So the spiral is representative of both things, and oftentimes you'll see it cone out. And what it is about a rebirth, a birthing. But what comes out of that canal, spirits. And people are seeing them all over the world. We've seen them on logos time and time again. And we also are seeing in a new Disney movie, Home, another Project Blue Beam propaganda prep. We see the symbol used prominently there as the O in home. And this is showing that this is proving that the brotherhoods are no longer hiding that the home of the spirits that they worship, the home of their false gods, is another dimension. Some call it outer space. It's interesting when they show us pictures from outer space, because I haven't been, maybe you have. But when they show us pictures, we see a similar type of spiral. And I believe that this is related to the reason why planets are named for gods, and why at one time people worshipped the planets and the stars. Astrotheology. But every time we look around, we'll see signs and symbols of this eye, or of this swirl, this portal, this doorway, this gateway. Your eye, your eyes in your head are gateways. You have gates on the head. 7 gates on the head, 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, 6, and a mouth. So we have gateways. So it's not a gateway in and of itself that's bad or wrong. When someone talks about something and points out something other people haven't seen, when it makes them really uncomfortable, they just go ahead and say, all you're doing is fear mongering or pointing out negative things to people. But no, it's not for that. It's for awareness. Okay, just to be aware of the world around you and of the secret language spoken and written in signs and symbols and logos by men of privilege who use this language against those who are ignorant of it. Our people perish for lack of knowledge. So it's not a condemnation of the swirl, of Cinnabons, of cochleas, of seashells, or of galaxies. But it's noticing this prominent shape, a godly shape, because all things involve the spiral. We find the spiral all throughout nature. But again, Satan's thing and his kin is all about trying to take the things of the Father, claim them for himself, and distort them as much as possible. Then return them to us, tainted thus tainting us in the process. That's the goal, always is. You see the curls of the ram's horn, you see the curl in the shofar. Again, the shofar was used to blow the trumpet before battle, as well as before service, you know. But the shofar is a good thing. I'm not condemning the shofar. But again, and I'm not condemning the sun, because the spiral is also indicative of the sun. It represents the sun as well. But we know how they use the sun. The same way that they use these other things of space, of outer space, the swirls and the portals of outer space. These things are used as doorways, meaning we'll talk about the sun as really being nothing like what we're told it is, but really itself being a doorway or a dimension, a shining dimension, perhaps. But time will tell on some of those loftier things and those dark sayings and deep mysteries of the Lord will be revealed to his servants in these end times of revelation.
Tomorrow at your sparring session, you will demonstrate all the power you are capable of, and on the night of the fight, you will win over 40th Street Black. Win! Win! Invincible! Win! Mean! Win! Downright nasty with strength! Now, go to sleep.
Now. No, wait, don't throw no punches. I'm gonna talk to you for 1 second. Now look, let me tell you something. Before we get it on, I just want to tell you something. This is all, I love you.
I'm Judge Lytton Mandrake, and on behalf of the council, welcome. In any fellowship, you need someone you can trust. Someone to be there, always and for anything. A soulmate. Well, my soulmate is Senator Ames Leverett, class of '72.
Gentlemen, you've been arranged in pairs, soulmates. Each soulmate was chosen to complement the other and to accept responsibility for the other.
Mr. Wheeler, Mr. Pitcairn.
Thank you.
Open them.
By some estimates, these creatures have been
Now, we need an assault unit. Someone to hit them hard when the time comes.
You got it. Ever see that disappearing act? Once.
What's that?
They all wear these expensive watches. Turns out they're really two-way radios. You can listen to their broadcast. There's something else. Some kind of secret code or hidden control. They push a button, and all of a sudden, bang! They're gone. I've been trying to figure it out.
Our membership, like life, has its pleasures, its hardships, and sometimes its pain. But unlike life, the connection between you is eternal. Let this seal the bond between you. Be silent as you endure. Well done. Gentlemen, put on your watches. With the council as your witnesses, you have now become soulmates.
And now, gentlemen, the rules.
We live by the rules, we die by the rules.
Read your rule book. There's a rule for every possible situation. Guard the key to our entry and your rule book as you would guard your own lives. Most important, remember, our rules supersede those of the outside world. A skull above any other.
A skull above any other.
Well done, gentlemen. Congratulations. As chairman of the Order of Skulls and on behalf of the council and the 322 alumni throughout the world, gentlemen, you are welcome. welcome home. The proudest day of my life, Caleb.
Thanks, Dad. I want to make you proud.
I'm very curious about the trailer for the new Star Wars movie and how they're going to use the young black character, because George Lucas has not missed a chance to use different characters through different movies to say certain things about certain ethnicities time and time again, and certain things about religion and different things that he wants to speak on. It's his platform to do that. But I'm also curious about the Batman Superman movie because of its allusions to the false god theory, and I believe it's going to be used to help to push more people in the direction of looking at Christians or believers as a problem and as threats, those who are looking after a false god. Batman will represent the side or the rebellious faction that says, well, we're not going to go for this false god anymore, the Dark Knight. Superman represents God. Now, when we look at these images in our movies and in our films, the all-seeing eye, we see the swirls, we see different things of that nature, like the swirl that was on Sidney Poitier's pendant that he used to hypnotize Bootney Farnsworth, Jimmy Walker. We have to realize the different significance to the brotherhoods of these things. And the black brotherhoods and the white brotherhoods are played against each other in a sense. Both sides worked against the middle, but they are both being used. Their racial pride and their individual pride and their egos are being used against them. They're being told two different sides of the same story, and they're being used to push forward the Luciferian agenda, period. And that's about the false god, the false Christ, the coming of the Antichrist. And it's symbolized by the all-seeing eye. It's also symbolized by the swirling swirl, or the OK sign, the 666, a portal, a gateway, a hole through which the enemy can come. All of these different meanings. Again, each one of their symbols has layers of meanings. I stray away from teachers who say, well, this means this. Anytime you see this, this is what this means. Because that's seldom the case. If you overstand the way this game works, oftentimes one symbol or one logo can have a number of meanings, because it may mean different things to people who are on different degrees of the Masonic ladder, of the Brotherhood's ladder. So we have to keep this in mind also as we're watching. So we're seeing different symbols that all have the same basic meaning: establishing Lucifer's kingdom, the all-seeing eye, no matter who uses it, black or white. The spiral, the sun symbol. The sun is good, but they use it to symbolize the false sun, the false light. So just how is this thing supposed to work? Well, we're supposed to go back and learn from Brotherhood members and compromised scholars the Egyptian mystery systems, and they were to incorporate them in our daily lives and in our businesses and in our communities and uplift ourselves. This is what the Brotherhoods believe. However, the adversary, the head of all brotherhoods and secret societies, always has something different up his sleeve. And while they are sometimes very sincerely believing that they're contacting their ancestors, they are in communion with spirits, deceiving spirits, as we all learn from watching Roger Morneau's A Trip into the Supernatural interview. So why do we do what the Brotherhoods do? Even those who we look up to, why do they want to do what the Brotherhoods do? And who are they really looking up to? Who are they trying to be like? Why is somebody trying to be like you? In causing confusion, the adversary knows how to make you want to be like somebody else, and somebody else want to be like you.
Now I'm the king of the swingers, oh, the jungle VIP. I've reached the top and had to stop, and that's what's bothering me. I want to be a man cub, and stroll right into town and be just like the other men. I'm tired of walking around. Oh, ooby-doo, I want to be like you. I want to walk like you, talk like you, too. You see it's true. An ape like me can learn to be human too. Here's your part of the deal, cuz. Laid a secret on me of man's red fire.
But I don't know how to make fire.
Now don't try to kid me, man cub. I made a deal with you. What I desire is man's red fire to make my dream come true. Now give me the secret, man cub. Come on, clue me what to do. Give me the power of man's red flower so I can be like you.
Fire? So that's what that scoundrel's after. I'll tear him limb from limb. I'll beat him. I'll... Yeah. Well, man, what a beat.
Will you stop that silly beat business and listen? This will take brains, not brawn.
You better believe it, and I'm loaded with both.
Will you listen?
Oh, yeah.
Now, while you create a disturbance, I'll rescue Mowgli. Got that?
I'm gone, man. Solid gone.
Not yet, Baloo!
Hey, there's up and Rony. Up the beep la da da dan ron. And the baby do saba do the day do bomb the boot the days the bones about bobby.
Abadoo-dee.
Will a reap banaza.
Ebadobadoi.
Will a la bazini.
Waddle-a-but, woodle-a-but.
Steeple-a-doody. Will a ha. Get mad, baby.
Paddle-laddle-laddle-laddle.
Will a hot-la-da-la-do-doody.
Waddle-doodle-deedle-doo. I wanna be like you.
I wanna walk like you, talk like you, do. You see it's you, someone like me.
Can learn to be like someone like me.
Take me home, Daddy. Can learn to be like someone like you.
One more time.
Yeah, can learn to be like someone like me. Say do da ba 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 da doodle da 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 da.
Now, to keep everything in its proper perspective, we do have to talk about how artists have a nature about themselves. And even when they're confined or pigeonholed by the brotherhood, which is part of the rules of the game of being an artist in the business, we still find some artists who did the very best they could with what they had, and they tried to bring us positive messages and positive images when they did not have to do so. And many times those that did this would do this to the detriment of their own careers and themselves. And we have to take that all into context when we're talking about them. You know, now we know different things about the entertainment business than has ever been known before by the public at large. So the artists and entertainers that will come from this generation at hand will have new responsibilities in mind. But back then, they had responsibilities too. They had the responsibilities of the day, of the civil rights movement, their responsibility to their heritage, their responsibility to trying to uplift a race that was minimalized and beaten down on national TV and behind closed doors at every turn. And so these people saw every avenue as a potential avenue to try to uplift black folks if they had a platform and an audience and a voice. And so let's not forget that part of this very complicated conversation.
Joshua, he played trumpet in the good Lord's ragtime band. Now they had a gig in Jericho, a routine one-night stand. But Jericho, little disco, was a red-hot dancing town. They laughed when Josh stood up to play. Said, where did you get that clown? Now, Josh hadn't cut no record. That wasn't Josh's style. He played his trumpet in the church since he had been a child. Josh's mother taught him manners. He never dealt in dirt. But Josh didn't come to Jericho to get his feelings hurt. Josh dubbed that crowd for a couple of vamps while he limbered up his chops and said, Lord, if it be thy will tonight, I'm gonna blow these jokers tops. So stand back, all you people, and keep your head down low. No telling what might come to pass when Josh commenced to blow. Up comes the trumpet to his lips, straight pointing at the sky. From out the throat comes a hell-hot note would make a dead man cry. 10 sisters screamed and fainted, 12 men down on their knees. They cried aloud with head low bowed, have mercy if you please. But Josh swung that trumpet round like Reggie's baseball bat. He aimed a blow at Jericho and knocked that damn wall flat. This lesson, all you sinners, let well your hearts record. Don't mess with Josh, shut up and hush. He's blowing for the Lord. Jericho was the city, a red-hot disco town. Then a country clock took the trumpet of God and blew the playhouse down.
Ossie and Ruby. Starring Ruby D. and Ossie Davis. With their very special guest, Gil Scott-Heron and the Midnight Band. This program is made possible by the Program Fund of the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, public television stations, and Alcoa, producer of energy-saving, recyclable aluminum.
When it was on a Sunday, I met my old man.
I was 26 years old. Now it's too late to speculate. Said hello Sunday, hello road. Hello Sunday, hello road.
Hello, Sunday. Hello, Road. Hello, Gil Scott Harris.
Oh, yes.
Good to see you again after all these years.
Hey, glad to be here.
Long, lean, skinny poet. That's what we're up to.
You remember the first time?
Mm-hmm.
Where?
A radio show we had.
That's right.
Yes.
And you showed up, you know, loaded down with poetry, looking as long and as lean as you do right now. As a matter of fact, you know, we wondered when we first saw you, and we said, either this brother is a heavy poetic genius, or he is very hungry indeed.
You know, those conditions are not mutually exclusive. You know?
No, we've enjoyed your music and your work for a long time, but it was really a thing that you did in 1978 that really opened our eyes to what a serious artist that you truly are.
What a caring person, if I may quote Lorraine Hansberry. She says, you know, there are those people who care about it all.
And you are one. It was proven in this particular poem, which was written about an incident of police brutality in Houston, Texas. You remember the poem?
Oh, yes, sir. A poem for Jose Campos Torres.
Welcome the pilgrims and to the buffalo that once ruled the plain. Like the vultures circling beneath the dark clouds, looking for the rain. Yes, they've been looking for the rain.
From the Indians who welcomed the pilgrims,
to the buffalo who once ruled the plains,
like vultures circling beneath the dark clouds,
looking for the rain,
looking for the rain, looking for the rain.
From the cities that stagger on the coastlines,
to a nation that just can't stand much more,
like the forests buried beneath the highways, never had a chance to grow.
Never had a chance to grow.
It's winter.
It's winter.
Winter in America.
Winter in America. And all of the healers have been killed or forced away.
It's winter.
It's winter.
Winter in America.
Winter in America.
And ain't nobody fighting because nobody knows what to save. Constitution is a noble piece of paper. With free society, it struggled, but they died in vain.
The thing what I say is that every day Malcolm X just grows in stature. I mean, like, that performance, I mean, I remember you said Spike, because people don't know. Denzel, Mr. Washington, stopped working on other stuff the year before to prepare for that film.
Well, you know, there was a lot of pressure. There was a lot of pressure.
We had this running joke where we had our passport.
We were ready to go. As the minister said, a lot of people love the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. My arms was for so long, I can't reach for so far. He was dead serious, too, but I give you credit just for the bravery, man.
Well, you know, I did have to go to Chicago, though.
Yeah, sit down. That's right.
I had to have a sit down with the minister.
That's correct.
What is the hardest role? Let's to maybe take Malcolm X out of the equation, but...
Because that wasn't the hardest one. The hardest ones are the ones that you don't want to be there.
That's true.
Malcolm X really wasn't hard because I had done the play.
Right. Chickens come home to roost, right?
Yeah, so I felt comfortable that I could do it. And, you know, I got the gift of gab anyway. So I was cutting and pasting his speeches. You remember we were shooting one day out there and you just kept loading the cameras up. I just kept going. I was making it up.
You weren't making it up, Denzel.
No, I wasn't making it up. I was using pieces.
I know, but even that, though, I was a witness to this. You channeled the spirit of Malcolm. Because I remember one specific time where, you know, we went to Malcolm's speeches. And once you finished with the text, you kept on going.
Right.
And I didn't say cut.
right.
We kept
loading the camera.
We kept loading the camera. And there were many times in that film where we all had to pinch ourselves because we thought we saw the reincarnation of Malcolm. It wasn't about impersonation.
Right. You know, to capture the spirit.
The spirit, and just trying to, you know, act as well. I'm gonna look like him and that, but that's just surface stuff.
Will Smith called me before he started Ali, and he was saying, "What should I do?" You know, and he did the voice for me, and he had it. I said, "I think you should go to Michigan and pray with Ali." When I did Malcolm X, I would just pray every morning, you know, before I came out of that trailer. I was like, "Malcolm, come on," you know, because it's not for me,
right?
You know, it's for him and for those hopefully that he affected.
Glory. What take was that on the tier?
Another one of those characters, but especially that scene where I just went to prayer. I just called on all the spirits of all those who had been beaten and hung. And not that I represent them, but I literally, you know, and some people might think it was wacky, but that's all I did. I just said, "Come on with me. I just want to go out here and represent y'all in some kind of way." And when I walked out the door to come do the scene, it suddenly hit me like, oh, don't everybody, because everybody's getting liberal, and the guy was hitting me. He didn't really want to hit me. It was like a felt whip, but it was wet, so it was starting to hurt. So I was like, "Come on, hit me for real, like you mean it, like I stole something from you." It just wasn't anything I planned. Ed, to his credit, he saw it. He was like, "Wait, wait. Now we're going to start pushing in." He started, you know, we did a couple of more takes, but it was like he wasn't going to let anybody see him sweat or feel the pain. And it's just one of those moments.
Like you said before, Malcolm X, you got to put yourself in a position to be open, because stuff like that, you know, our ancestors are out there.
Right.
And if you're open, we could use that, you know, you got that antenna, but we could draw upon our ancestors.
I've done it over and over again. If there's anything I can say to actors, that's what's worked for me more than anything else. More than any technique, more than any amount of training or any amount of luck or anything else you want to call it.
How long do you think you like to keep acting?
You know, I've been ready to quit acting. Yeah, for a while.
Mine's too good.
Yeah. It's hard to walk away, but...
Yes, the money is good, but it's not good enough for some to accept stardom and let their minds be blind to what they know. It's really the design of the great work, the brotherhoods, that they've joined in order to receive this success that we give them accolades for. We put up their posters on our door. But yet, the only thing that's really gained is wealth and success for them. You're still in the same position. They got you using your skills and fusing your meals, because ain't that much in the kitchen. And it seems that the only people who are getting ahead are those who join these groups and who sell themselves out. And us too. So we have to remember artists like Gil Scott-Heron, for instance, who didn't get a lot of exposure, but who did everything he could with what he had in that system that was bad and designed to blow your mind. He did the best he could for a long time. And even though they tried to make him go out bad with that song, Me and the Devil, his last song released posthumously, Gil left a great record of songs that some may even consider prophetic. So despite his problems with religious philosophies, we want to ask that, you know, our brother be forgiven for any of his trespasses, and the Lord receives his soul, because he did the best he could with what he had, and he told the story the way it should be told.
I said I wasn't going to write no more poems like this. I had confessed to myself all along, tracer of life, poetry, trends, that awareness poems that screamed of pain and the origins of pain had blanketed my tablets, and therefore my friends, brothers, sisters, in-laws, outlaws, and besides, they already knew. But Brother Torres, common ancient bloodline Brother Torres, is dead. I said I wasn't going to write no more words down about people kicking us when we're down, about racist dogs that attack us and drive us down, drag us down, and beat us down. But the dogs are in the street. The dogs are alive, and the terror in our hearts has scarcely diminished. It has scarcely brought us the comfort we suspected. The recognition of that terror and the screaming release of that recognition has not diminished the certainty of the knowledge. How could it? The dogs, rabid, foaming with the energy of their brutish ignorance, stride the city streets like robot gunslingers as night lamps flash crude reflections from police shields and gun butts. I said I wasn't going to write no more poems like this. But the battlefield has oozed away from the stilted debates of semantics, beyond the questionable flexibility of primal screaming. The reality of our city, jungles, streets, and their Gestapos has become an attack on home, life, family, philosophy, total. It is beyond the question of the advantages of didactic niggerisms. The dogs are in the street. In Houston, maybe someone said Mexicans were the new niggers. In LA, maybe someone said Chicanos were the new niggers. In San Francisco, maybe someone said Asians were the new niggers. Maybe in Philadelphia and North Carolina, they decided they didn't need no new niggers. I said I wasn't going to write no more poems like this, but the dogs are in the street. It's a turnaround world where things are all too quickly turned around. It was turned around so that right looked wrong, turned around so that up looked down, turned around so that those who marched in the street with Bibles and signs of peace became enemies of the state and risked to national security, so that those who questioned the principles of those in authority on justice, liberty, and equality became the vanguard of a communist attack. It became so you couldn't call a spade a spade. Brother Torres is dead. Too many brothers are still incarcerated. Ed Davis, Ronald Reagan, James Hunt, and Frank Rizzo are still alive, and the dogs are in the street. I said I wasn't going to write no more poems like this, but I made a mistake.
Not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nub. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner because the revolution will not be televised, brother. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 on report from 29 districts. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of Whitney Young being run out of Harlem on a rail with a brand new process. There will be no slow motion or still life of Roy Wilkins strolling through Watts in a red, black, and green liberation jumpsuit that he has been saving for just the proper occasion. Green Acres, Beverly Hillbillies, and Hooterville Junction will no longer be so damn relevant, and women will not care if Dick finally got down with Jane on Search for Tomorrow, because black people will be in the street looking for a brighter day. The revolution will not be televised. There There won't be no highlights on the 11 o'clock news and no pictures of Harry armed women liberationists and Jackie Onassis blowing her nose. The theme song will not be written by Jim Webb or Francis Scott Keys, nor sung by Glenn Campbell, Tom Jones, Johnny Cash, Engelbert Humperdinck, or The Rare Earth. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be right back after a message about a white tornado, white lightning, or white people. You will not have to worry about a dove in your bedroom, the tiger in your tank, or the giant in your toilet bowl. The revolution will not go better with Coke. The revolution will not fight germs that may cause bad breath. The revolution will put you in the driver's seat. The revolution will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live.